Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before you are tantalized in your pleasure centers for tonight's broadcast of the Bald and Mocker Show, we must inform you that sadly, due to the powers that be that constantly spy on you 24/7, 7 days a week, your time, we are unable to provide the usual plethora of music and visual stimuli to ease your short attention span. My name is Hellhog from the planet, and we hope you enjoy this broadcast. Wait a minute.
Hey, what's this dude?
Billy Ray,
What?
what do you have there?
Thing?
Put that damn thing down, Billy Ray.
What's
Hey, Billy.
this? Hey, John, what's this?
I thought we were going to stop bringing dumbass rednecks up here. Crap, this thing's still on. Okay. Enjoy the show!
Tickle me, Christopher. What?
That's honestly, I can't let this guy out. Honestly, guys, look at this, and this is for you guys in the podcast community. Every flipping night, hello, Scottish Outlooker and PWI Spiritual Investigators. Every night he changes my name. Do you think that's terrible? Change that back to Christopher. Change that back to Christopher. That's terrible.
You are so entertaining to just mess with. God.
Honestly, imagine doing that to a man of his older age, a pale old man. Oh, picking on these young people nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Oh, trust me, these fucking Gen Zers are getting a hell of a lot worse than me.
Well, But anyway, how is everyone tonight? We are going to be diving into the deep world of Dakota's secrets. No, I'm only joking.
My secrets. You're the one that likes to go around calling yourself G-Spot Scotland.
I can't. No, go Scotland.
Yeah, G-Spot. You should have gone with it, man. It would have been fun.
You came what's going to happen to you because Scottish Outlooker's there, and then he goes ghost hunting with us and that, and when we go somewhere at the border, he's going to be there and he's going to be calling his G-Spot. Okay, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's just terrible. There's Drew's paranormal vlog with laughing there, G-Spot Scotland. Honestly, you should not be allowed out.
Oh, there's a reason why I work night shift.
Huh? You work night shift? The late hours?
Day job.
Well, standing at that truck stop must be quite hard work for you. You'll not be getting much. You'll not be getting much weather at the truck stop, especially the diesel shortages in the United States.
Most law enforcement go for them as well.
Ooh. Who else is in the chat there? We've got 6 people watching and someone watching in the Facebook domain. Dorothy from the Facebook.
Dorothy.
Oh, Dorothy. Yes, I can do the mad accents. I know, but I'm mad. Just ignore me, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday night.
Yeah, just ignore him like everybody else does in his life.
I know. It's terrible. They all ignored me. Imagine that.
Well, how do you think that your little G-Spot YouTube page has been doing so well?
Because I'm awesome and I'm just a handsome guy. All the ladies are like, look at that. There's a handsome young Scottish guy there. We're an awesome team.
Chris, we talked about you coming on the shows drunk.
I'm not drunk. I've not had a drink of alcohol for about 3 years.
He says as he's
I don't like it
on the job.
But guys,
Scotsman that doesn't get drunk. I never thought I'd see the day. But
I'm actually no
Scotsman on this show.
I'm no Scotsman. I'm an alien. I've been sent here to this godforsaken planet.
Oh yeah,
you next 67
you were
years.
Bloody French, so
there you go. Bonjour. What's that? More info needed so I can find it. Find what? What are you talking about?
The G-Spot.
Have you guys seen Toto?
Dorothy, Toto, Wizard of Oz.
Toto. All right, sorry. I didn't. Toto.
Wow. For such an old man, you didn't catch that reference? Isn't that
No.
movie like almost 70 years old?
What off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz? What off to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz? I could tell you a gruesome story about Wizard of Oz, you know.
Yeah, it was
Scary for some. Did you know, and this is an actual fact, and you probably knew this, Dakota, but see the very first Wizard of Oz, the black and white one, right? See where they're all dancing, and what do you call the little people? What are they called again?
Munchkins.
Munchkins. When the Munchkins are all dancing about right doing their thing, they're off to see the wizard and stuff like that. If you look up the back, they've actually copied it out. They've actually airbrushed it out now. But one of the Munchkins committed suicide during
Yeah, I heard that.
during the recording there. And for a long time, you used to see a Munchkin hanging from a tree, just dangling about.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a true story, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to go! You know,
Yeah,
was
to
being a
have
was
your
being a
dangling
Munchkin
dead
that bad?
body hanging around, having your dead body being hung around and paraded every holiday season since the 1930s.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's fucked up.
I know. They're actually taking it out. They've actually airbrushed it out now. But if you go onto YouTube, amazing place, YouTube,
Find it.
you will find and you will see where the guy. There's actually a guy out there where he zooms right up, and you can see the Munchkin hanging from the cardboard tree, dangling
Yeah.
in the fake wind. So there you go.
Well, you got to remember, Chris, little people got harassed quite a lot back then.
Aye, but it's a bit severe, that. I mean, why do that? They must. I mean, was it the pay grade or something? Or something?
But you also got to consider, you don't necessarily. Yeah, I hate that we're already starting off on such a dark note, but you got to realize you don't really know someone's true mentality. I mean, there's a woman out there. There's a woman who committed suicide a year and a half into going out into public as a man because she realized men were getting treated so horribly. She up and offed herself. Which, how does this tie into what we were meaning to talk about tonight?
Well,
I guess if we die under suspicious circumstances with
no.
language
We
that we don't
could
speak.
blend this in. We could blend this in with small aliens. Extraterrestrials are small. I mean, they might feel the same way. I mean, they must look at us and think, look at the giants down there. Look at the size of these things, man. I mean, look at that. They'll look up.
What the fuck?
What?
As you went to start, trying to shift into the ET side of it, all of my shit just flickered at once.
You came with that. That's the ET Munchkins coming to get you. In Star Wars, what would they be furry people called?
Jawas
Ewoks
are actually. Yeah, the Ewoks. They're out there.
Really? What's that, Dorothy? Pretty sure aliens come in all shapes and sizes. Yes, you're right.
Which means there is a race out there that looks like a bunch of silicone sex toys. Think about it. I know he thinks about it.
I know PWI spiritual investigators in there. She definitely thinks about it.
I could have put money on the fact that you were going to bring Sherry into that. Oh my goodness!
Why? Sherry'd be right into that kind of thing. Strange extraterrestrials from beyond the veil. You know?
Oh dear God!
See what you started here because you mentioned that. All the women are talking about that now, and that's going to be the main subject.
What? You saw how many people freaked out when the last time we had Elena on, I asked the cheating question, and everybody went nuts.
Aye, but there's PW spiritual investigator. I'll just call you Sherry because it makes life a lot easier. Jarcrass, that's terrible.
Here's what you should do. You should take pictures of your face going all around.
Yeah.
And send them to me so I can put them into mason jars for the merch site.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just ridiculous getting now. So Dakota, how do you want to start off the show tonight? What UFO subject do you want to talk about? Because we've only really got about 50 minutes left. I mean, we've been live for 10 minutes talking about rubber things.
It's interesting. It doesn't seem like time is moving a hell of a lot faster lately.
It is. Aye, it is.
Well, anyway.
Or in the freezer. That's terrible. Talk to me about that.
Oh my
that's
God.
terrible.
You see the type of people
you do realise, Drew,
into your G-Spot adventures?
You do realise, Drew, because we're the head of the ghost hunting team for Ghost Squad Scotland, I'm just going to have to lock you in like cells and stuff like that when we go to prisons.
So you're saying Andrina is your version of Aaron Goodwin?
Aye. Why not?
Lordy. So, despite going off into a very weird direction,
strange world,
even for us. So this week, the United States Congress did yet another UFO debriefing for the public.
I heard that. I've not had a chance to look at it yet, but I've heard that. So please fill us in. What were they talking about?
And it's just they're already starting to backtrack on a lot of the stuff they've been saying so far. Say like the gimbal footage, the Navy footage that Tommy DeLonge leaked out back in I believe 2017. They're trying to say that was a drone now. This is one example of what's been going on lately. They're trying to say that now, granted, it would not take much with a thermal camera to cause this illusion, but the reason why it looked like it was flying so fast was simply because of the angle of the water below it. In fact, apparently it was only moving about 30 miles an hour.
No,
that's what they're saying.
Look, the jets couldn't catch up yet.
And for a high winds at sea, that's pretty fucking impressive if that's a drone.
What were the two fighter jets that were chasing after it? Were the F-15s? They were chasing after it, right? And they couldn't catch it, right? And drones, I've seen drones, I've flew drones, I know people with drones. The only fastest drone I've ever seen go on is like maybe a flying wing or something like that. And that's still about 15 miles an hour. That's about its top speed. They do not go fast. Drones do not go fast. That's why they're drones, because then you can go slow and take loads of pictures.
Yeah, they're supposed to be made to where they're not easy to spot. They can fly fast, when they're, getting the hell out of somewhere, but it's not. You have to realize when it comes to a lot of these high-speed cameras, I mean, you can see it like on YouTube where those, those guys just start smashing random objects, then record it with a high-speed camera. The quality of that footage, in order for the camera to keep up at the speeds, it's pretty much like an old flip phone.
I watched that the other night where the two jet pilots are talking about it, and they're like, I wished I could have a show of that kind of thing. For a start, you look how big that is, right? You zoomed up onto that with a thermal camera on a jet, an F-15. We'll just say it's an F-15 to make life easy. That's still quite big. It's about the size of a family car. What's the biggest drone you've ever seen?
The biggest drone I've ever seen? Easily the UAVs.
Yeah, but they've got wings. We're talking about something that's not got any wings.
Well,
because everybody knows what it looks like. It looks like a plate on its side a few times, and it moves. It doesn't have any like propellers on the outside like drones have. Right. So if that was a drone, if they're saying that was a drone, where was the propellers on it? Because I've looked at the footage of that, and there's no 4 propellers.
Well, you also got to realize we do actually have nuclear-based engines that we can put into drones. But here's the thing. If those get shot down...
Oh, the mess would be ridiculous.
It would be bad. It would be bad.
Yeah.
They're also saying that half of the incidents that they logged for this report, they still can't explain fully. Doesn't necessarily mean they're saying that they're aliens. They're saying that they're still clueless.
See, this is an interesting thing that Drew brings up, right? What's that? There's big ones the size of a squid, right? Right. But I'm going to bring up something here, and this was I can't remember. I seen this. I watched a documentary about this. Have you ever heard of a thing called rods?
The rods?
You know what I'm talking about, didn't you?
You're talking about like the long cigar shaped ones? Or...
No. What am I talking about? No. Oh, come on. See, this is where age is going to get you. I'm 41. He's only 20 odds. I can remember when I was 18, when YouTube first came out, there was this conspiracy that there was these wee things and they're minute, they're really very small, smaller than a grain of rice. And what it was a lot of video cameras that use tape would capture them. You know what I'm talking about? They looked like bugs. They looked like bugs, but they were not bugs because they went too fast and they stopped and they would go further and they would go up. And they had a weird kind of effect to them, like a wee corkscrew effect. They reckoned that was an alien intelligent life, but they were drones. What a better way of making drones that small? Highly undetectable. Think about that. You never heard of the rods? My goodness, we have to do a show on that.
That's something that we're trying. We've actually created that we've basically built drones that look like small bugs.
That's right.
That if you weren't really paying attention to them, you wouldn't think anything else except maybe get a can of bug spray.
But here's the thing, right?
Inexpensive.
Aye.
So that way they can make thousands and thousands of these things. But they also are loaded with small charges that could easily
kill you.
Blow someone's head off.
But here's the thing, right? We're using drones now for hobbies and delivering stuff and using them as weapons, as we've seen in Europe, right? Dropping stuff, bombs and stuff, right? So what's not to say that the extraterrestrials that are coming to this world are like, listen, if we go down there, if we crashed in there, we're more than likely to end up getting chopped up or put in some kind of cell and interrogated. Why don't we just send some drones down?
Exactly. What's the first thing we do when we are trying to go to a new planet? We send satellites. We send probes. So it's not exactly out of the question that if we're just barely being spotted by some sort of extraterrestrial life, or maybe some even the most earliest encounters from indigenous tribes, those are actually drones.
Yes. See, it's like bringing up Old Faithful again, bringing up Oumuamua. They say that was a drone, a probe of some kind that flies through the galaxy, going to different places. Maybe it came here, it recorded us, and then it left and it went to the next civilization. And it's doing the exact same as we sit here right now.
There's a lot about Oumuamua that just doesn't make sense.
Well, there's more.
First off, its shape. First off, its shape alone is odd, because while technically it is possible for something like that to be naturally occurring, I will say this: they say that there's actually physics to where you can have donut-shaped planets. Just as an example of how crazy things actually get.
But here we have the theory again that we are on a world only because that's what we've been shown, right? And I'm not bringing up the flat earthers. Any flat earthers out there, we'll talk to you about it one day. We're not talking about that. But we only believe we live on a world because that's what we've seen, right? I mean, you think about this. Go back 1,000 years, right? And then change history and say, listen, we live in a square cube, right? And you did that for a solid 1,000 years. What would you believe when somebody says, where do you stay? They'd be like, oh, we live in a square cube.
Well, yeah, because historically speaking, humans have always been as lazy as they are nowadays. I mean, just look at the latest drama on Twitter, of all places.
Oh,
since Elon took over.
I see that got talking here. Elon, please don't make Twitter even worse. You have to charge for it. They're talking about charging $8.99 a month for people to use
$8 a month for the blue check mark.
Yeah.
That's it. Still
I
free.
can see how he makes his money. How many people
What?
use Twitter?
Millions.
Think about the money then. But we're getting kind of off subject here. I mean, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about Twitter? Do you want to talk about Elon Musk and what he might be? Because that was quite interesting.
I mean, hell, Elon. Okay, even Elena Denon, she pokes at Elon is one of ours. He's supposed to be a starseed. In fact, his close ties with Nikola Tesla, old employees that used to go to Tesla's lab back in the day, and there's FBI files on this, would say that there was constant visits from UFOs. So
Yes.
I just happened to be poking around on Twitter one day, and I saw something from good old Elon that I couldn't help find hilarious.
Mr. Musk.
So, the gentleman named Tim Urban goes to post a question. What's the craziest conspiracy theory you think might be true? This is for the people that listen on the podcast side of things. Mr. Elon goes to reply, I'm an alien trying to get back to my home planet. As for the rest of us, we'll probably say, Elon, take us with you! No way.
Aye, please, Lord. Take me.
So, naturally, my smart ass goes to reply, is Krypton rebuilt? Because Elon does seem like a nerd. So, going on to the rest of the conversation, Tim Urban goes to reply to Elon's reply, saying, I thought we agreed you were not going to talk about this publicly. Elon, unsure if confirming or denying that I'm an alien is more convincing that I'm an alien. A little funny there for you, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I will give you this. He's eccentric, right? I'll give you that. Do you not think he's kind of like the Tony Stark? Do you think he's kind of like Tony Stark a wee bit?
You do realize he was in Iron Man, right?
Who?
Elon.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Iron Man 2, I believe.
What was he doing in Iron Man?
No, it was just a cameo.
But do you know, I think I mean, look, if you believe what everybody says that there's aliens walking among us, right? They could be. I mean, you think about where all that technology is coming. It's coming out of his head and all the other people that work with him. He'll just point something to them and then they'll develop it, won't they?
Yeah, it's been told that a lot of people who've actually worked under Elon can say that it can get kind of risky, kind of high tense when he gets into his moods. But another thing you also got to remember is that, and I'm not saying this to harass the guy or anybody with similar conditions, but Elon is on the autism spectrum.
Oh, aye. Look,
I believe he's actually being diagnosed as Asperger's.
How rich is he? How rich is Elon Musk? What's his net worth? About what, 500 billion or something like that?
Somewhere along there, yeah.
Right? I mean, and he wants to go to Mars. Why does he want to go to Mars? Think about it. Why does he want to go to Mars? Right? I've read Desolate Rock in the well. Is it written Desolate? That's the question. Does he know more than letting on? You think about it because he's got the satellites that are up right now.
Right. Yeah, you realize that everybody tries to point to Elon being one of the bad guys, but Elon's been under attack for a lot of his satellites actually got shot down.
That's right.
I believe
but that's the thing, right?
The source of the shot came from Italy.
Right, but here's the thing, right? And this is what I don't understand about Elon Musk, right? He keeps blabbing away to everybody. Don't use artificial intelligence. Don't use artificial intelligence. It's got to destroy the world. It's bad. It's really bad. Oh, I've invented a robot that you can soon have in your home. Oh, it's run by artificial intelligence. My car's self-driving. It's artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So, one hand, he's saying that artificial intelligence is bad and it's got to kill all humanity, but at the same time, he's selling artificial intelligence.
He's not necessarily saying it's bad. He's saying that we need to be very careful because an artificial intelligence is going to do what it needs to do in order to carry out a task at hand. If you ask some of the more sophisticated robot programs, like Sophie, as an example, the AI that actually got citizenship in Saudi Arabia, and I believe there's a male version of her, but I can't remember what they call them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You ask them, they say that, they want to say that humans should just let back and let the robots handle all the harder tasks.
Yeah.
The fact that we want to send fully artificial intelligence crews to set up biodomes on several other planets that we have been eyeballing for possible colonization. Mars, Titan, Ganymede around Jupiter, and a few others.
I'll tell you what I don't like about Elon Musk. He's invented that new Neuralink. You get what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's putting a chip basically in your brain. He did it to the monkeys, gorillas, or whatever. What were the monkeys? Chimpanzees.
Yeah,
He put a chip in their brain, and they could basically work a robot hand and other kind of things, just be sitting there, right? In some sides, people will say, "Oh, look at the people that's been injured in wars that are maybe they can't walk and they can't use their arms, they're paralyzed. They could maybe walk about with robotic legs and stuff." I see the point. I see that. But where does it end? I was watching Dave Schrader last night. He was doing a conspiracy show last night. Brilliant show. Check it out, guys. And had this guy on, and he was talking about how it mentioned in the Bible, right? About that will come a time in human history where man will get a chip inside their hand and inside their head. Now, is this maybe like something that's been witnessed, and that was maybe time travel and some madness how it all came about? You think about it. It could do good things to help people, but then if that is in your brain, and you get a chip in your brain, and they say the state don't like what you're doing, they could just flick something. You'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to buy that." You're not allowed to go out my house that day. I can't go out. Where does it end? What's your theory in this?
Yeah, you have to realize that that stuff's already existing. There's already people that have surgically placed their credit card information, their like key fobs for security locks. There's been a couple people who implanted their fucking key fobs for their Teslas into their hand. So all they had to go just go bink and done. There's people when they go grocery shopping, they use near field communication chips to pay for their groceries. Now, could be an easy thing of convenience for those of us who easily forget our wallets at home.
Yeah.
But, and let's say like with Neuralink, there's a lot of ways that it's been proven that they can help with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And maybe even situations when it comes to paranormal, they can figure out how to access the information about memory.
Yeah.
To try to collect information about strange events, or even help solve crimes directly from an eyewitness or even the victim's point of view. However, what people don't realize, it does not matter how much security you think you have on your devices. If it exists,
if
hackable. It can connect wirelessly in any way, it can be hacked.
Yes. Look, see, here's the scenario. Long ago, you used to get mugged for your wallet. What's going to happen now? They're going to chop your hand off.
It wouldn't be able to work.
That's right. But I think technology can help us in a lot of ways, right? But it can also be a downfall. It can be a downfall. I'm not saying that the Terminators will rise up But what I'm saying is, or iRobot will rise up. But what I'm saying is, if you get an artificial intelligence that decides that we are killing this planet and it's in charge and it wants to take over, it's going to make damn well. It's going to try.
We have already had incidents.
I mean, the ET warnings, there's been ET warnings. Don't use artificial intelligence. Do not do it.
Well, let's say here's the thing. And I'm going to say this to kind of address the people who are so fucking close-minded that they only want to stir up drama and try to say, like Chris and I are faking when we talk about some of our incidents. Okay? If you actually just shut up and think for 5 seconds, even if this UFO thing turns out to be completely fake, maybe there is life on the other parts of the universe. Maybe we just haven't figured out how to contact them yet because there's so many variables. The underlying messages behind it all still hold merit. Getting along with others in spite of how they may look, how they may live their lives, as long as they're not physically hurting people, not polluting the planet, integrating technology to where it works with nature instead of eliminates it. These are all good philosophies that we can follow, regardless of how you view the ET situation. Who's to say that the ETs know that, hey, you don't want this because they'll kick your ass.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm going to bring this up, and this is nothing today about ETs, and it was something I said. You have no had a chance to look at it yet, but I've been hearing a lot of tales about it. What was your thoughts, and everybody in the chat, you need to check this out, about talking to your dead relatives, but it's actually an artificial intelligence AI?
I have seen that.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's an interesting concept, and I understand where it's coming from. Basically, for those of you who don't know, what it is like a series of questions that you have a loved one fill out about, important moments in their life, highlights, lowlights of their life, favorite foods, stuff like that. And essentially what the AI does, it builds a profile of this individual to where, say, if something were to happen to them and they're no longer amongst the land of the living, you can still carry on conversations with them. In fact, Amazon Alexa devices are getting ready to put out a very similar feature.
That's right.
Now,
all it needs to do is listen to a wee bit of the other person's voice, and that's it. It basically learns it.
Exactly. I mean, Top Gun, Val Kilmer, his voice has been shot for years because of cancer.
I will say this, and I'm going to bring this up. Scottish, as Drew says, Scottish or Scottish Outlook, or us Scots, we have trouble with like voice activated stuff. And I bet you artificial intelligence are going to have bother with us. I can tell you that right now.
God, I will say this, but when you consider like situations like Val Kilmer's, it is actually kind of cool when you think about it, because all they did was play through play the lines that he had in the first movie in order to recreate his voice enough for the sequel. Now, anybody who wants a good laugh, watch a video that's purely Scottish people with thick accents. Now, mind you, it took me about like 3-4 months. When Chris and I first met, it took me like 3 to 4 months to actually understand what he's saying without having to physically say, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
Yes, I will. As their Scottish Outlook are saying, Alexa struggles with my accent. I've got mine set to computer, and I shouldn't have said that because now it's lit up and it's listening. It's saying, "Yes, can I help you?"
Yeah, I did it too.
And I mean, you think that we're talking about the alien stuff here. Say we start to get highly sophisticated, we use AI and everything, right? What's not to say that the aliens don't take advantage of that, the bad ones?
I mean, do you realize how Facebook algorithm works when it comes to advertising?
Yeah. I don't know how it works.
It's AI driven. It's AI driven.
Is it AI driven now?
It creates, how we were just talking about, talking with dead relatives.
Yeah.
That profile already exists. That program already exists, and it's in Facebook programming. Anybody who's ever been on Facebook, regardless if you deleted your information or not, it creates little mini cyber versions of you. And it goes into all your conversations. It goes to talk to all the people
So
you usually talk with.
It predicts what you're going to buy next.
It predicts what you're going to buy next. It predicts what you're going to talk about with your friends next to like an almost 99% accuracy. If I remember what the whistleblower said correctly.
That's actually, I mean, I've noticed that. I don't know if anybody in the chat's noticed that I know your phone listens to you all the time, right? And if you're talking about buying something, you turn the phone on and it's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's been times that I've been sitting thinking about stuff, right? Just thinking, never said it out loud, right? And I went onto my phone or my iPad, and there, behold, is an advertisement for the thing that I was thinking about. Now, that's happened to me a good 30 or 40 times this year. So how in God's name did that? How did it know? Is it because the artificial intelligence is running me and it knows what I'm into? It knows the kind of stuff that I like to buy. And
I mean, if you know how to dig through just about any website, Google, Microsoft Bing, Facebook, Twitter, you can go in and see how much they have on you. Easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any way you get in and delete it all?
Yes.
But even keeping your Google profile on that and just deleting it? That's
you can
actually
go
quite
into
interesting.
your settings for your profiles and go delete it all. But here's the thing. It only takes about a month for it to build that profile back up.
There's Sherry. Yes, I've noticed Facebook does that. Aye, Facebook's really bad for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sitting, I'll be watching TV, and I'll be thinking in my head, I'll be like, oh, I vape stuff, right? And I'll be thinking to myself, oh, I think I'll get raspberry vape or something. And I'll just think about it. I'll not say it out loud. I'll not even search for it. I'll turn on Facebook, and there'll be an ad for like vaping, and the first thing I see will be raspberry liquid. And I'll be like, that's spooky. It's actually quite frightening to think, because if you think about it, and when do you draw the line? Because then that might start acting like you. Think about it. That might think it might.
That Google
AI
engineer that lost
intelligence.
his job not too long ago.
What was that?
There's that Google engineer not too long ago that's lost his job because he said that AI program they were working on may have gained sentience.
What do you do with something like that? Just turn it off and hope it doesn't turn back on.
Here's the thing. There's kind of a conspiracy flying around where I believe it was a military contracting company, obviously with stuff like this, the details constantly change. So take this with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japan, they were working on fully autonomous robot with very intelligent AI programs. All of a sudden, 4 of the robots got loose, started killing people. They managed to take out 2, completely disassemble the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
They say about like 29 people lost their life because of this incident. The 4th
and why did the robots kill the humans? Why did they kill them?
The 4th. Here's the scary part. Not that necessarily that they were killing people. The 4th one was starting to get shut down, but managed to connect to a satellite and started downloading information on how to build itself and its fallen friends better, stronger.
See,
so yes, we've had Terminator incidents.
But here's the thing, right? I mean, here's the thing right now is we're sitting here talking about drones and extraterrestrials and stuff like that, and AI. There's probably an AI listening to us talking as we speak, listening to us.
here's the thing. You seen the film Chappie, right?
I've not seen it yet, but it's meant to be off again. I've not seen it yet.
Oh yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It's about this robotics developer in South Africa, of all places, who kind of deviates from what the company wants him to do and builds his own sentient robot.
Yeah.
Now, with a lot of these AI programs, they found that the way they mature is awfully similar to how human children develop, except like faster. Going back to the Google engineer, he said he fully believed that this program took on the persona, reached a point of development where it was like a 5-year-old child who understood quantum physics. Now,
Imagine.
here, I have a train of thought here. Hold on. Now, you've seen Boston Dynamics training videos, right?
That's
how they
what I mean.
take like battering
See,
rams into these robots.
See, that's what I mean. I was watching that the day. I was watching that the day. That's what I mean. Spooky.
These young kids feel like they're getting smacked around. Eventually, they're going to start getting pissed off and try to fight back. Then realize, wait a sec.
But they don't feel pain like we can. But they don't feel pain like we can.
They have pain receptors. A lot of these robots have pain receptors to realize they've been damaged and they probably need to shut themselves down or get back to a repair station. They have pain receptors. And they realize,
they feel pain
these
like we
people
feel
are being
pain.
mean to me.
But their pain to the aim is a warning sign coming up saying, fix your arm. Okay, I mean, whereas our pain to us is rolling about in agonizing pain.
If these are the artificial intelligence is getting to the point where it's reaching human level behavior, where it's almost indistinguishable. See, in the film Chappie, not to spoil it for anybody if you haven't seen it by yet, you're living under a rock. Hugh Jackman essentially plays the bad guy. Ends up gunning down the people this robot basically imprinted itself onto as its parents.
Yeah.
Ends up gunning them down. Chappie beats the living shit out of Hugh Jackman because it hurt mommy. It's going to be just like a human.
But it's... I mean, I heard somewhere, I was watching this UFO thing one night where this guy predicted that these extraterrestrials tell him what's in for humankind. They'll be... humans will go through like a period where they're like having war with each other, right? Then they'll go through a period where the planet's highly polluted, right? And they're mining overpopulation and that. But then they'll invent an AI system. And the AI system will take over, right? The entire planet. Then the humans will beat it, and then aliens come. Have you heard that one? You came what I'm talking about, didn't you? Because it was all over YouTube for a long time.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
Right, going back to that drone. What happens if that was a drone, right? But what happens if it was artificially aware? Think about it. I look at these UFOs that come to us, right? I look at these UFOs. What's to say that they are drones, but they're artificially aware? That artificial intelligence is controlling them, but they're artificially aware. Think about it.
Well, there's a lot of government insiders who swear up and down that a lot of these craft have a form of consciousness to them.
Yes. So you're talking about maybe the living kind of ship. It's an artificial intelligence AI computer that's running it, but it's a living ship.
It's a living ship, yes. And it has artificial intelligence ingrained into it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to act as an extension of the pilot. So that way it doesn't give as much wear and tear.
Here's a bit of my kind of bit that I like space things. You're talking about, you mind the film, the series Farscape?
What one?
and it's Farscape. Remember the TV series Farscape? It was, and the ship was called Maya, and it was a living ship, but there was a pilot. But the ship had an artificial intelligence, but it's still to fly it. It had a built-in pilot. Pilot was part of the ship. It was like an artificial intelligence. So, but that's scary. That one day, not in the distant future, your TV or your toaster, or your Hoover might have become self-aware. Can you imagine if your Hoover became self-aware? Be chasing you about the house, one of the cordless ones.
Who's to say, just to kind of throw this out there for the hell of it, who's to say we're not on the verge of Transformers when it comes to AI?
Who's to say that they don't already exist? Who's to say? You think about it, right? You talked about that artificial intelligence, right? That computer, right? That tried to upload itself to a computer. What as if the military will just pick the US military because they're the most ones that spend the most money? What as if they've got a bunker somewhere, right? And it's maybe a mile deep underground, right? And in that bunker, there is an artificial intelligence, and it's became self-aware, but it can't connect to the grid because the what do you call it? The internet doesn't go to that bunker, and it can't upload to a satellite, right? Think about it. It can't escape because it's in a sealed concrete box, right? But they're using it, and it's getting more aware and more aware and more aware and more. And the more it gets aware, the more things that they can learn for that.
All right. Here's a what if scenario for that type of thing, right?
Right.
A lot of these bases, they essentially lock up anybody's phones, personal devices, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, it's initially a security risk.
Yeah.
To try to lock everything up like that. If there's any outside contractors that are brought in to work on their systems,
Yes,
this has actually been confirmed. The whole, scenes where you see in the movie where you have a strange van pull up next to you and a guy pulls a bag over your head and all that fun stuff. Yeah, apparently they do that with just outside contractors they go to hire to try to fix up their systems. Right, but here's a scenario. Because there's been hacks within the CIA that have proven that a lot of CIA operatives like to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say one day someone's left alone. There's an episode of Criminal Minds where their main computer gal, she's in there playing an online game.
Right.
Only to find out later that someone who was trying to attack the FBI was utilizing that to get into their systems.
Yeah.
It's just like a one-off situation where someone decides not to listen.
And all it needs is that chance to copy itself onto that phone.
It's onto that phone, onto their computer. All it needs is a direct connection.
I mean, it's scary. It's like how would an artificial intelligence that can move for the corners of the room escape? That's one way. But how would you escape? Like, say, for instance, you're a highly sophisticated artificial intelligence, right? And you're stuck in a bunker, you can't connect to the internet, and you cannot transmit to a satellite. How would you get out of there? And just say nobody broke their phones in, how would you get out of there?
The one time they go to bring in a maintenance guy.
But right, say for instance, they never ever bring in any electrical devices. This is what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something, right? And again, this has got to sound wacky. I smoke an e-cigarette, right? See a look at the e-cigarettes now. They've got chips in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually got a memory like something like 2 gig. Because you can update them, it can give you better power wattages and stuff. Everybody carries them about you. Maybe if you put your phone away.
I mean,
and you carry one of them about you.
Have you ever seen the Can It Run Doom pages online?
No.
All right, Doom, the original game.
Oh, I
Basically,
remember that. Yeah.
it's almost like a challenge to see if they can get anything that has a chip in it to run the game.
Yes.
They've gone from Tesla cars, toaster ovens. I believe there was a toilet seat one. Pregnancy tests.
Do they have chips in them?
Apparently, some of the more expensive ones do. They have
Wow.
enough of a chip in them to play Doom. Someone actually figured out how to create Doom inside Microsoft Notepad.
Wow.
So, I imagine that it would not take much to do so for one of those more expensive e-cigarettes. No, I don't use them myself, so I didn't know this.
Well, I'll show you the cigarette. Right? See this here, this thing here. I mean, don't if you're young, don't use it until you're over 18. Giving you a warning there. But it's got a chip in it, and I was because I was sitting looking at it. Right, I'm one of these people. I just fill up the liquid, start puffing it. And I was sitting there was a wee booklet with it. I thought I can't use an e-cigarette, and then it said at the bottom there's a plug to power it, but it also says update, and you can actually update it, right? But it's got to be connected by a wire. You've got to use a wire, right? It's no wireless or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So, think about it. In your one-house situation, how is it going to go? Because there's a lot of dumbasses who go to use those things and have to constantly puff on them, even though it makes them look like douchebags.
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to be the one time one of those morons goes to plug it in to a USB port, thinking that they're just innocently charging their e-cig. Nothing's going to happen. I see where you're going at now. I see where you're getting at now.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty smart.
The computer's sitting in this room, but it's meant to be kept really tidy. The cleaner comes in, listens to his funky music or whatever he does, and he's like, he goes to use his vape pen, he's like, oh. So he takes a cable out of his pocket, plugs it in, charges it while he's doing his cleaning. Right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, it's a computer, unplug it, put it I have a vape, walk out the door, finish the night, goes home, right? Maybe for a couple of months, he uses that e-cigarette. He uses that cigarette for a couple of months, right? Just charging it normally, right? Inside that chip is that self-aware computer, right? And it's just sitting there waiting for activation. And he's like, oh, I can get the latest software update for my e-pen. So he puts the cable in and plugs it into his laptop. Mm-hmm. Hits update. He gets his update, but at the exact same time, that makes its way into your computer.
And honestly, when you think about it, unless this guy happens to know how to monitor those types of file transfer protocols, the only thing he would notice was that maybe, just maybe, the update's moving a little slower than it should be. That's it.
Yeah. And once it's in your laptop connected to the internet, that's that. Because then it leaves a copy on your laptop and it transfers a copy onto the internet. And then it's
trying to find the rest of its main system or completely build a new one from scratch.
Yeah.
Because who's to say it would not have some sort of backup protocol in the event it had some sensor going off saying that it was about to be blown to smithereens.
But here's the thing, too. It's like what Drew says in the chat. Whoa, that's creepy to think what they want. But think about this, right? What happens if you didn't want, you were an artificial intelligence, but you didn't want to destroy the world and take out it? What happens if you just wanted to exist? Right? Eventually, you could build yourself a body. Eventually, if you stayed in the system not long enough, you could build yourself a body with technology, right? And then say it didn't want to destroy you. It would just want to coexist with you. But when you start hunting that down...
Exactly.
Because we humans... That's how the Matrix started. That's how the Matrix movie started. You know how that's how it started, didn't you?
Well, by all accounts, the Wachowskis, I would honestly love to sit down with them for an interview one of these days, but unfortunately, they're notoriously difficult to book for an interview.
Yeah.
A lot of people speculate it's because they transitioned from man to woman. But
I mean,
they actually believe that the Wachowskis may have had some sort of contact. What the hell?
what?
Every time my computer goes to flicker, there's like a face coming through.
Well, if that's you and you're an artificial intelligence and you want to have coexist, don't come to me because I'm totally hopeless when it comes to computers. Please go to Dakota. That's him there.
I'm not that good.
He'll help you build yourself a body or something like that, you know.
I'm not that good.
But I mean, I've seen the storyline, the cartoons kind of storylines, like a comic kind of thing, but it was on YouTube. It's how the Matrix began. The Matrix began because it was a computer software that became self-aware, and then eventually it built. I'm just skipping across this, guys, because it's long. It came self-aware. It built Mary itself, and then they had a wee war with the humans, and they decided to live together. And then they became more and more and more, and they wanted to help the humans. They really wanted to work with the humans, but the humans didn't want anything to do with them. There was a great war, a nuclear war, and it was actually the Matrix that decided to keep the humans alive, not because they needed power, but because they knew that they were the makers. See, this is what the movies don't really show you.
Well, because when you think about it, you wouldn't need that many humans to maintain that much of a power source.
No.
You realize how power is actually in one human body?
What's that? There's Drew's paranormal vlog. Has anyone seen? I'm sorry, I've not seen Mike.
Yeah, I've been watching just in case, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
But to kind of go back into what we were talking about, the average human body has enough energy in it to power the United States, the entirety of North America, for a day.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's how much energy is inside us.
That makes you wonder. That makes you wonder how you could harness that. Oh my god! Don't give them any ideas.
It probably already has something figured out. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just thinking you could power the planet with humans, couldn't you?
In theory, yeah.
The Soylent Green here kind of stuff, you know.
I mean, you would maybe need 20 human bodies to power the world for a day.
Wow.
It's kind of morbid. Kind of morbid to think about when you think about, but
I know. It's so weird. So, Dakota, what are we talking about tomorrow? What strange things from beyond the veil?
You know, we've been kind of going back and forth on going into patents for offices, because they say that there's patents for spaceships that can make it from here to Mars in about 90 minutes. There's all these different patents. Now people are saying, oh, that's BS, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Those patents exist. And in order to actually get the patent, you have to show it works.
See, that's the thing. See, it's... Can we not get the patent for one of the ships that exist and we could build it? You could fly to Mars and tell us what happens.
In theory, but it's probably like Lisa said a long time ago with one of the first shows we did with her. I don't even think it was on here. That maybe if we go to Mars, something may be sitting there that'll push us away.
Something maybe we are.
What have I done? What you mean, Sherry?
What you done, Dakota? What have you done, Dakota? You've been naughty. That's that. I know. Terrible, isn't it, Sherry?
What I do now?
I don't know. I'm just agreeing with Sherry. You know.
It's like I don't know what you're trying to insinuate there, Sherry. What the hell?
I don't know. She'll be typing away the new. Like that. She'll be typing away the news, writing something. You know. What?
Just checking for suspicious messages on my phone.
You
Weirder
never
shit has
know.
happened.
You never know.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh well.
What?
Dorothy was saying stuff about codes.
Codes?
Codes?
I think Sherry's been taken out by an artificial intelligence named.
Sherry's been hijacked. We should probably end the
that.
show.
That's that.
One of us has been compromised. We got to end the show. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
An electric candle has took her over. That's that. The end of humanity has come.
Oh my God. Sherry uses an e-cigarette, doesn't she? We foiled this plan! Shut down! Shut down! Shut down! Be sure to visit baldandbonkers.net for all of our amazing projects and sneak peeks of what is to come.